Hey, welcome back, everyone, here to Veteran Nation. And we've got a really great show for everyone today. But before we start, I want to remind everyone that if you're watching the show, go to www.nrnplus.com, all spelled out, /VN. That's our landing page. You can go on there. You can subscribe to the network for $9.95 for the month or for $79.95 for the year. And you're going to get a lot of great content from myself, a lot of the other creators here on the network, and you'll also get some kind of backstage stuff. So it's a really great bargain, and you'll be supporting independent journalism. So I do want to get right into who we have today. We got a very special man. His name is CJ Edge, and I've been talking with him over the last couple of months because as I've talked about on this show, I've got PTSD. I'm always looking for things that are calming. And CJ is an artist, and I find this type of art very calming. And he's going to tell us a little bit about his story and how he got into this. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce CJ Edge.
Hello. How are you?
So, I just want to just start off. How'd you get into? Because you're doing spray paint art, correct?
Yes, I am.
And how'd you get
Um,
into this?
well, actually, March 8th of last year, I actually started doing. I've never done art, any kind of art, period. And I seen this ad for this stuff called unicorn spit. It's a paint. I started trying to make it. So um, that's originally how I got in art. And then went from there to hydro dipping. And I seen this video on YouTube from this spray paint artist Sketch. I don't know if you've ever watched him.
I've seen his
He's
videos, yes.
yes, he's a really good artist. Um, and I went and just tried it, and that was actually July 8th of last year, and then it's just been went from there. I First one I did was when I seen how it came out, I was just a good feeling, and I just kept going with it.
And you're going to actually do one for us today, correct?
Yes, I am,
This is
and I'm going to
really
do
going to
one
be
I've
cool.
never done before.
Go ahead.
I said I'm going to do one I've never done before, so this is a new painting.
I, I really look forward to it because I think this is just one of the coolest things. And yeah, I've watched Sketches videos. I've watched a lot of other street artists do spray paint art, and I find it to be very soothing. You have found this to be to do it to be very calming for yourself and others, correct?
Yes, I'm I'm bad ADHD. I've been suffered from mental problems. You know, I wouldn't say depression. I'd say more anxiety. Growing up, um, and it just whenever I need to think about something or I got stuff on my mind or just worried, I just go paint, and usually the answers will come as I'm painting.
Well, that's perfect. I don't know if you want to get started now. I don't want to hold you up, but if there's anything
Yeah,
you'd like to talk about, feel free while we're going.
um, I get yeah, I don't know what to talk about. You got any? I guess you have any questions? I guess that we can start there, and then I can elaborate.
Um, you
Um,
know, just how what's your process? Do you pick what paints you really want to work with, or do you kind of have an idea of as to what type of scene you're going to do?
um, Sometimes I'll just wing it. I don't know. I go in there not knowing what I'm gonna do, and then a lot of times, like some of my best works come that way. And then one, then a, when I get an idea, the prep work before I actually do the painting, it's a lot of work because you got to make multi-layered stencils and you got to.
Mhm.
I usually design my painting on a digital art app called ToolWiz first, so I'm gonna kind of idea how it's gonna look, and I go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
did you find this to be pretty hard to learn, or did was it very easy?
I don't think it was. I mean, there's hard. It is hard, but when I get a notion, I'll go out in 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. and paint off the back of my truck. I've got a lot of practice. I just paint all the time. But other people say they can't do it as hard. I'm not sure because it's it don't seem hard to me. I don't know.
Hmm.
I think anybody can do anything if they just put enough practice into it. Because I'm not a natural artist.
Hmm.
Like, um, I just put a lot of time into it.
Well, that's it seems like something that I see a lot of veterans, especially people with PTSD. I think they could absolutely benefit. Yeah, it just went off. So if we want to pause, we can, and we can go ahead and fix that.
All right, I'm doing a moon first. So you lay your I use different things, but I'm using a pizza pan right here to get my outline.
Okay.
And then take a piece of paper, fold it, and spray into it. Oh. You're gonna get a lot of globs of paint, you know, in different. It's gonna be pretty much kind of like the craters of the moon.
Okay.
And, this part, I usually use a heat gun, but I don't have it right now. More pressure. Yeah, that didn't have a lot of pressure to it, so that I ain't gonna use that can again. All right. All right, so you can use different things. You can use a trash bag. You can use magazines, really good, newspaper, any kind of paper, usually with a glossy texture to it.
Okay.
And there's different ways you can do it, like, and that's how you get your texture. There's different ways to fold it. There's all kinds of different ways. As you start learning, you'll see, and then you can come up with your own ways of doing it. The best paint for like shade, for shading, like black and white, is Walmart paint. It's 99 cents, and it's like most spray paint artists use this, some form of this, because it's real quick dry and it's good for doing your shading. And if you're doing like a big surface and you need a heavier body like spray paint, I usually use Krylons. A lot of people use Rust-Oleum, but I like Krylons because it's a little bit thinner, and I like more of a translucent paint.
Now, for someone getting into this, is the paint the biggest expense?
Yeah, spray paint's by foot is the most expensive way to paint.
Okay.
I mean it'll there's like, it's better to go online and do like buy it in bulk or buy like that, because you get it cheaper. For a lot of artists use Montana brand, which is really good. It's more high dollar, but it's good. See the difference? This is a heavier body paint. See how it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's, shade in. And you want to, like, when you're doing it, you got to think where your light source is coming in. Say, your light is, if you're doing a planet that's coming from this way, you're gonna want like lighter right here, go into the dark. And hold on. Then you gotta dry it a little bit before you put your whatever you're gonna cover it with, so the other paint don't get on it. You let it dry for a second, or you'll get like a ring. There it is. I want you. It dries really fast.
Yeah, be careful. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, I don't like, it looks cool and all that. And I mean, if you're careful, it ain't too much that can happen. But I don't like doing it that way. I prefer to use a heat gun. right. So when you're doing your sky, what I'm doing, I'm gonna do the extinction of the dinosaurs. I'm gonna have the comet coming in with the Tyrannosaurus Rex and a Brontosaurus looking at it. It's coming down to hit the Earth.
Okay.
I was gonna do a 9/11 piece, but I felt like it wouldn't be right to do that piece and not give it the time it needed, the respect of it. You know, I didn't want to rush a piece like that.
I totally understand. And you know, you as an artist, you have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to know what it is that you want to do. So yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that one. Like I was having a problem painting. Like it was like I lost the ability because I got COVID back in January, and
Mhm.
it's like my head was foggy all the time, and it was no good. I just now the past week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm able to like find my rhythm again. So since I'm doing like a comet coming in, I want to do the sky like it's reflecting the flames coming in from the atmosphere. So I'm gonna do like an
Sure.
orange, and you know, you always do lightest to darkest when you're doing this, or you can do darkest to lightest. It really don't matter. I mean, it don't. Whatever you feel like doing. But
Mhm.
when you're first starting out, that's what they take. That's how they say just do it. Because the way spray paint art works is you're layering, and when you're pulling back and you start pulling back paint, and whatever your bottom paint is going to be the most dominant, like your highlights and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, not that one. Right. And paint, if it's cold, spray paint does not work right. If it's below 50 degrees, even 50 degrees is pushing it. Below 50 degrees, it's going to be all going to come out splotchy.
Mhm.
It's no good. So label these. So but I grew up around mental health. My father actually committed suicide when I was 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't really know him. He was in and out of prison a
Mhm.
lot, and but still, it affected me because I'm 10 years old. I don't understand what's going on. So I we've had a lot of deaths in our family. We've never been like normal deaths. It's always been something,
Tragic. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been around, the
Oh,
mental health issues and
you know, a lot of us in the military, and after we get out and become veterans, you know, that's very common for us. It becomes a thing that, you know, we go to a lot of funerals, a lot of needless ones from suicide. Um, so yeah, we've got definitely an understanding there.
yeah, it's I've always like I always used to feel like it was a coward's way out,
Hmm.
but then and I still somewhat in my mind feel that way, but I have a better understanding now of like because you don't know what a person goes through. You don't.
Oh, I can definitely empathize with that. I can remember I had one night where, you know, I was probably the lowest I've ever been. And, you know, all the things they say, they, you know, felt alone, nowhere to turn to, that it felt like, you know, nothing would ever be right again. I went through that. You know, I didn't actually have suicidal ideations, but I walked away from that experience with a lot
Like
of empathy for people who do. I can
yeah,
understand why they feel that way now.
um, like I've never like I don't think I've never don't think I could ever commit suicide, but
Mhm.
there's been times that I didn't care if I did go like something did happen. I wouldn't make something happen, but I didn't care, you know. Like
Yeah.
if I was in a car wreck, I wouldn't make a car wreck happen, but I like if it did happen, I would like oh well. That's how I felt at times, you know.
Oh, I can absolutely understand that.
And so after talking to you the first time, and another couple other administrators from these other veteran groups on Facebook, I started thinking of an idea of, because I know how art saved me. Like it gave
Mhm.
me structure in my life. It did. Like I was growing up in my 20s and stuff. I was a knucklehead. I would just do stupid stuff. I knew better, but I'd still do it. And it was more
Yeah.
like for the if I could get away with it type of thing.
Oh, absolutely. That's I think that's a lot of us who a lot of us veterans. We're either knuckleheads or we've been knuckleheads or we're still gonna be for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. And y'all, I mean, y'all go over there and see things that we couldn't even imagine. Like, the horrors and y'all get like the programs and the VA, y'all don't, and I think I can understand where y'all come from. Like a lot of these older ones, they feel like they're past their heyday. They have nothing more to contribute. I could understand how you could, that could make you feel down.
Hmm.
Especially the ones that were like maybe a hot shot in the army, or they felt like they were something then, and now they're older and they're feeling like they have nothing else to do. They're
It's very interesting. I've been talking with a couple people here lately, civilians, people who never served, and we were talking about a lot of the things that the VA does, a lot of things that the VA doesn't do, and the one thing I think that the or that the military doesn't teach us because it's government is how to like connect the dots in terms of business. Like we were just talking about just how to make money in
Yeah,
general, nothing specific, and you know uh, the civilian, he was like, well, you guys have all these programs available, and I said, yeah, we do. And he was like, well, why aren't more people taking advantage? Because that's a real leg up as compared to what I do. And I said, there's just a lot of people who in the military, they're not taught business. So there's not that connection of, oh, I can take this and put them together and actually, make some money out of it. It just doesn't connect that way.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you go in the military and you learn one thing and you're whatever that is, and if you don't take any other extra, do they provide y'all like? Do y'all take college courses and stuff while you're in there?
We have the ability to. I took some while I was in, before even I went to, because I went through a program where they sent me back to college. Um,
Oh yeah.
but
Nice.
yeah, while I was in, I was able to take classes and things like that. Some of those programs, though, could be better. And here's what I mean by that. Like, we have naval personnel who, after 4 years in the Navy, they actually have experience working on a nuclear reactor because
Oh wow.
our entire navy is nuclear. Like every
Yeah.
ship is nuclear. So they have experience that another 21, 22-year old would never ever have. But that training does not get them any type of college credit at all.
Oh yeah. It seems like it would. That's.
It's a gap. I will say that it's a gap. Hopefully, it's amazing to me because we have some amazing schools in the military. We've got West Point, we've got the Naval Academy, we've got the Air Force Academy, and those are prestigious schools. You're going to get as good of a education at those as you would most Ivy League schools.
Yeah.
But and then there's also good colleges along the way. For instance, the Naval War College, I think, is amazing. But when it comes to our day-to-day jobs, it's very hard for those schools to be accredited, and
Yeah.
it's yeah. So that's why there's that gap, and I hope that the VA steps up and almost were to try to consolidate all those schools under one, so then
Yeah.
accreditation can be a little bit easier.
It seems like the military. Yeah, the military don't have their own college.
Um, Only if you become an officer and you go to like the Naval War College or some, for for instance, in the Marine Corps we call it the Command and Staff
Yeah.
College. There's stuff like that that you can do. There's also programs you can go to, postgraduate school. Both the Army and the Navy have those. Um, but I mean, those are very select programs. They only take so many students every year, and that's normally for master's degree level stuff. So how we can figure that out, but yet we can't figure out, just getting uh, a young man or woman who's been working on a nuclear reactor, getting them at least an associate's degree. I don't see how we can't do that. It's just it's a problem that a lot of people have kind of kicked the can down the road with.
Yeah, that just don't seem right to me. I mean, there's so many programs out there for people, regular civilians, and I don't know. It just seems like I get a bad rap for real. And y'all are the reason we're free. Oh,
it's a very rough thing even for us as well. Now, with your painting, you've been able to help quite a few people with this, correct? Because you've opened up some avenues.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Like I see these people that like this one she's pretty much a kid. She's in her early 20s. She's she lost her daughter a couple months ago.
Mm.
And she was already prescribed like sleeping pills and Xanax for anxiety, and she started abusing them. I'm pretty sure. Like she was just sleeping on time, drinking every night.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was a hopeless case. I mean, honestly, I tell it dry. And I didn't. Then a couple days ago, she started messaging me, sending me pictures of art she's been doing. Because
Mm-hmm.
I showed her some spray paint art, and we did some couple lessons and stuff together. Well, she started doing acrylic painting.
Okay.
Well, she sent me a message that thanking me that she found her worth again, and for the first time she didn't want to die. She didn't feel like she
Mm-hmm.
wanted to die since her daughter. She was she was going to let her other kids go and everything because she didn't feel like she was worthy to be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
She like I didn't. I figured she was either going to overdose or she was going to commit suicide. I was waiting to hear about it at any time, and then
Mm-hmm.
she messaged me and with that message about finding you a lease on life and everything. And that's because I know what it did for me. And I'm not saying everybody's going to take to it because art's not everybody's thing, but
Yeah.
the ones that does take to it, it could help.
Well, we've got a saying in the military that if it seems stupid but it works, it's not stupid. And
Yeah, right. I like that.
if there's a ton of military veterans I know who they're the rough and tumble guys, but I would encourage them if they're having the issues that I know I have and that that you've said you've had, I would encourage them, just try something. Whether it's art, whether it's medication, whether it's meditation, all these things can be calming enough to get you back to your center and to get you back to where you feel like yourself again.
Yeah, and like I feel better than I ever was. Like I finally feel like a purpose, I guess you could say, because I've always been. I guess I always lived a gypsy life type. I would just move to a different state or whatever on a whim. I actually went to Utah one time for like a couple-week vacation. Ended up staying like a couple years or whatever. Um, and that was no way to live. I mean, it was fun, but then it's time to grow up.
Yeah, yeah.
I even did some things that landed me in prison for 6 years of my life that I'm having to catch up on. Gone over being stupid and thinking not, and it didn't need the money. Didn't what I did? I didn't need no money or whatever. I worked in the oil field. It was out of boredom that I did it, just out of because my mind was just always racing and everywhere, always everywhere. My mind's always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not like, that's what I like about art, because it's always stimulate my mind, like thinking of the next thing. And and there's a lot of people that, and what, and these people are like, I see people that are, they would be better, way better artists than I would if they would do it, because I've seen them do, they're so modest about it, and they're great artists. And that's what people, nobody has confidence in themselves, because I don't know, because this is how I look at it. There's a lot of there's a lot of haters out there, and nobody wants, if people see somebody do something good, they don't want to praise them, they want to hate on it, and that knocks people's confidence down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, there's a lot of critics out there.
there is, and I don't like that. I want, like me, I want to see somebody do better than me, because that I teach, because I could learn from them then.
I go through it with this show. There's people who have said some things to me about my show. It works for me, and that's all I say. That's I'm sure there's people who don't want to free Britney. That's why I've got the backdrop. We should all be able to be free to do what we want, as long as we're not hurting others.
Yeah, right. And creating something like, when I got into art, I looked at the world differently. Like now I look at everything differently. Like I
Mm-hmm.
see beauty, like everything, like the what could be and the beauty and everything. Like everything I see a chair, an old chair that somebody's gonna throw away. I see what could be done to it.
Mm-hmm.
And to take something that's, somebody's gonna throw away and turn it into something that's beautiful, that's an amazing feeling to create. Because I feel like I've destroyed so much in my life. To create something now is a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it probably gives you a pretty different perspective on a lot of things
Yes.
in life.
Oh, I don't know if you've seen what I was doing. The stars, when you do stars, you spray. There's a couple ways. You can do a toothbrush. You can you can do all kinds of things. I usually flick with my fingers, spray a little bit in my two fingers, and then
Okay.
flick. And you got to flick straight down, because if you flick like that, you'll have them. It won't look right. Or you
Okay.
can do spray it on something, like anything, and just kind of. That ain't the best thing to use, but usually a palette knife. Palette knife is one of the key things you need on spray paint art, because you don't. I do use paintbrushes, but the way spray paint art works is you're drawing by peeling, like scraping the paint back. That's how you do your highlights and stuff. You're scraping paint back, like you would use a pencil to do it. And it's amazing. And I'm gonna do a mountain range, so I take a piece of poster board or whatever, and you can tear it, cut it, however you want. Just make it look like. I like to do mine random, because mountains are random.
Okay.
And so all right, this is our moon. We'll take this off now. Oh, hold on. Can't take that off yet. Cool. Yeah, I can. Hold on. I got to dry it some. It's still wet. Yeah, it's getting a little cold out here. It's making the paint
harder to dry.
Yeah. You always gotta make sure there's nothing like at least a foot past your table, Dang, it's still wet. Hold on. See, the problem is that, especially if it's cold, and it's harder to mix that solvent inside the paint together with the paint, so you get all that solvent. That's what's actually catching fire, is the because a lot of times it's like some kind of fuel. But like I said, the heat gun works way better.
Okay. So you're just using paint that you're spraying there.
Well, you're supposed to use clear coat's the best, because you don't have to worry about overspray. But my clear coat's not spraying really strong, so I don't want to take the chance of it. Which I've never seen that happen, that going back in a can. I've never even heard of that happening, but it could happen, so I don't want to take that chance.
I don't blame you.
Oh, the light. It's got to dry for a couple more minutes. I'm gonna mess it up. But yeah, I can do this down here.
And if you prefer us to stop and come back, we can do that.
Yeah, that way I can get this dried real fast.
Sure. We'll pause it.
A stencil is all it is, really. I'm gonna do my mountain, right, my hills or whatever with. And like I said, I don't sit there and really the mountains and stuff. I don't really draw them out, or I just go with it. As I go, I'll take an exacto knife and just cut how different, the time how I feel like doing it.
Okay.
And you're gonna put like you're gonna say like your highlights, like lights hitting the moon's hitting it. You can put your like colors of your reflective colors in it, pretty much. What was we talking about?
We were talking about how the heat and.
Oh yeah. Like heat's a big thing, especially when you start doing multi-layered stencils, which means you can do it with spray paint. You can make it look like exactly like a photograph, but it's going to take you about 30 layers of stencils. You got to cut every little shade, color variation to its own stencil, and you got to have registration marks to line them up. It's hard. It's like one of the hardest things I ever learned. To me, it's hard. I mean, it might be easier to other people. So I'm gonna put my reflective color. And I'm not wearing a respirator now because we're doing this, but you want to wear a respirator even outside.
Yeah.
Or at least bare minimum a dust mask or something. But I got a bad habit of not doing that. And you can buy different caps to do different pressures. Some's more high pressure, and different cans are different pressures. Like for the most part too, if you stick with all gloss paint, like if you're using gloss, you want to stick with all gloss. I mean, there's exceptions, but if you use like a gloss and a flat paint, it'll sometimes it don't come out right.
That's the fun of art. You just, if it doesn't work, you just paint over it.
Yep. Oh, I've done that many times. I mess up a lot. Like that's what I tell people when I'm teaching them. It don't matter if you mess up, because I mess up all the time. If like if I mess up, I don't get discouraged by it at all. Because a lot of my best discoveries have come from mess ups. Like I figured out, because everything's got a learning curve. Everything.
Oh yeah.
And people's problem is I ain't gonna say everybody, but what I've noticed is if they learn something new and they're not experts at it the first time, they just give up.
Yeah.
And that's not, like what's that, like Thomas Edison, that saying by him, like he learned like 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb, and or I can't remember what it was, but it's like 1,000 or whatever. And I've always liked that saying. I should have probably looked up that quote before I tried to say it before.
No, that's okay. We know what you're talking about.
And like humans are amazing people. Look at the stuff we've created in just the last 100 years. Like it's amazing what we could create. Like a building, all this is art. Everything that's created is art in some way. It's something you designed. It's somebody designed some way. Whether it's a building or it's a micro or what is that? A motherboard to a computer, whatever. It's somebody had to design that somewhere, and it had to come out of somebody's imagination. And so, whenever after talking to you and another lady that she's administrator of Proud Veterans Group, really, she's not a veteran herself, but she started the group because she's like me. She's got a soft spot, for veterans. Mm-hmm. And I seen like people posting on there about wanting, talking about suicide right there on Facebook, feeling that way on there. And I'm like, wow, it's this bad. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize how bad it was until I started actually looking into these veteran groups. Because I never even like my adopted or my foster brother, which is my best friend. My, he's in the Navy and been in there 10 years, 11 years or something. And
Okay.
he come from nothing. He come from nothing. Like I ain't gonna say nothing, but he had it way worse than I ever had it. And foster homes and all that stuff. And he like I'm proud of him, like what he became, And I would hate to see somebody come from that, build himself up so much, and then get out of the military and not have nothing, just wind up homeless or something. Because that's what you see. You see these people that's was like you would never believe that they would fall so hard from what they were.
Transitioning is very difficult. I won't lie. But yeah, you can't give up. You got to keep pushing on. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of veterans out there who struggle with it.
And I think, and I don't know what everybody believes, but there's no way I believe this universe was an accident. I mean, it's that we come from just some cells that came together the right way, or some I don't know, hydrogen or whatever it is, the building blocks of life just magically just come together. Um, and I believe I had to be broken so far just so I could maybe help others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've never I didn't have a bad I had plenty of good chances in life. Like it wasn't one of these things where I didn't have chances. I had chances and I'd mess them up. It was like almost like I was sabotaging myself. It was like everything was going too right. It's time to mess it up.
Well, we all have to follow whatever path the universe has laid out for us. I truly believe that.
But
my cat believes that its path is up in front of the camera right now.
And so art helped me. So I was thinking maybe we could do some kind of online workshop.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
The veterans can get on there and learn, and not just like spray paint art. I got other artists that's willing to do this and help that do different types of art, so they got something to choose from. They don't have to do one type of art.
And well, that's so much of what we're trying to do here. My show used to go out on Thursdays. Now it's going out on Mondays because we're doing Military Mondays. We've got Jason Dunn, who's on the, or I'm sorry, James Dunn, who's on the network, and he's a veteran as well, and he does his show. So we do ours almost back to back. But we're actually trying to do some new things specifically for veterans. We really want this to be a type of a movement in a way, where we can help veterans, where we can learn about what's for those out there who have something, passion projects or something, because we want to promote that. Also, there's a lot of legislation that needs to get out there, and a lot of average people just don't realize it. But a lot of veterans are very aware of some of the struggles that we have. As an example, I'll use one: burn pits. Overseas, we utilize burn pits to burn trash. A lot of things that shouldn't have gotten burned were burned. We were exposed to it, and right now we don't have any congressional, what I'll say, any congressional protection like how the Vietnam War veterans had with Agent Orange. They had to fight for decades to get that recognized. And with burn pits, we're seeing a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same diseases.
That's another thing. Like, these corporations, what they get away with if they pay the right people or whatever. Like Monsanto, I think that's crap. How they do. Like everybody, but that's a different story. Anyway, and I think that I'm not saying it like I'm saying it. I don't think it might not. It's not going to help everybody, but if it helps one out of every 100, that's less. Less maybe suicides there is. And what I hope to do with, I'm gonna get with the other artists and design T-shirts and hoodies and hats, and sell them, and then take half the proceeds and buy materials that for veterans that can't afford, that want to do this but can't afford the art materials.
Yeah. No, that would be great.
And then the ones that learn, these veterans that learn and get good, they can start teaching their own workshop and have it a change, because you only can have workshops so big. So we're going to need more people to, keep it rolling, keep the chain, keep growing and growing, and that will give them structure too, I think.
Oh,
So
absolutely. I can see where anyone who, if they have just a little bit of a creative mind, and they're struggling, with PTSD or just, just struggling, I can see where it could be a major, major help to them.
let me see. If your paint dries too much, if you spray some clear coat on it, it'll reactivate it.
Okay.
So you can work it again. And all you're trying to do, these are in the way. I'm sorry.
Oh, I can see.
Is you're getting your texture of, like, your landscape.
Yes.
You probably wear like rubber gloves too, or latex gloves. But the problem with those is it's hard to do certain things with the gloves on. All right. And that's kind of your texture. Then I'm about to start doing the highlights.
Okay.
But I'm pretty much wanting to, this is being a win-win for everybody, pretty much, I just say.
Oh,
you see it?
I do.
And because these other artists, they're good artists, and they're and a lot of them, most artists, they're antisocial. I'm a weird guy. Most people don't know what the heck I'm talking about. And it's hard for someone to get the ones that should be like doing this for a living and like really doing something with this. They don't know how to talk to people, because art's just as much about selling yourself as it is, your art. Because if somebody don't like you, or nobody wants to buy you. Nobody wants to deal with you, no matter how. I mean, that's how I look at it. Like, and I forgot where I was at. What was I talking about?
Oh, artists.
Oh yeah. So I'm hoping like this, the ones that do the workshop stuff, this will help put their name out there, and they'll get comfortable talking to people and making a difference. Like with your show, this will give veterans another resource that didn't know about your show. That, and it'll help grow your show. It'll help promote the artists. It'll help veterans hopefully find some, a structure. So I'm trying to make it where everybody comes out ahead on this.
I think that's absolutely great. I'm really glad you came on here today, because I think people can really benefit by seeing that this is out here. This is something that they can do. If any, veterans who reach out to me, of course, I'm going to put them in contact with you if that, they're interested in something like this. But I think it's definitely would be a good venture for us to move forward with.
You're supposed to use a palette knife on this, but I can't find mine, and it seems like nobody has any right now for sale. So I'm using a regular razor blade to do my highlights. And what you do is when you flex, like bend the metal, you get different textures. Let's see what. I really don't like using this, but it's good. I gotta be right here. Gotta come on there. Where did my knife go? Hey, is there an X-Acto knife on that table over there? Hold on 1 second. I might have to pause it because this ain't working too well. This ain't the best. Like you just do your how the say your lights come in from here, you'll do your highlights more on this side. Like if it gets a little too dry, just spray a little bit with clear coat. And not too. You don't want to do too much because it'll get too wet again. Just kind of mist it on there. And but yeah, I hope like now that I want to get the momentum going on this. Like now
Mhm.
like COVID had me messed up for like I'm just now the past month, a couple weeks started feeling back normal. So I messed up my momentum that I had going.
That's, I think, everyone. Everyone got messed up this last year.
Yeah, like where I was working got shut down. I didn't. That's when I submerged like it. When I say art saved me, like I just submerged myself in there because I didn't. Because I built myself up when I got out of prison. I worked hard to get where I was at. I'm an
Mhm.
electrician by trade, and I was doing good. I was moving up. I wasn't where I wanted to be, but you know, I've always but I was progressing. So I was happy with
Mhm.
that. And then when that happened, I I lost. I felt like I was gonna lose myself again. I was just like I didn't know what to do. I mean, I, at first I didn't take it seriously, but then when it kept going on, couple weeks passed, and I was like, this is serious.
Mhm.
It might not be as serious how they said it is, but it's serious about the economy. But so I just submerged myself in art, and I've had a lot of good support. Like I've had a good support system, like people that's really build my confidence. I guess you could say. I've never been like really like an unconfident person, but like now I probably wouldn't be able to talk like this like a year ago, or a couple years ago, like I am now. Like
Mhm.
put my ideas out there and stuff because I always felt like they're stupid, whatever. But if there is bad, I don't care if it is a bad idea. I don't care. Like I'm just gonna put it out there. It might be a good idea. Mhm. See, it's a little bit too wet now,
Mhm.
but it'll still be all right. Would might try a little bit, but and I've actually like a lot of people that I've known now are doing some kind of craft. Like like even my brother, he built my younger brother, he built a Christmas tree thing out of pallet wood, you know, and wanted to and tried to learn how to airbrush and stuff, from and that's and I try to support them. I try to build their confidence on that when I see something, and because I mean, like there's this one friend of mine that she's gonna be doing her own workshop
Mhm.
too once it gets going. She's an amazing artist, one of the best ones I've ever seen, and she has a great platform like Etsy to sell off of, but she don't charge. Like she does it for the artist. She designed
Yeah.
it, programmed it, everything herself. She's for the artist. She's not trying to make money off everybody, and but she's not social, so she don't get her name out there.
Mhm.
And she makes women's coats out of men's ties, and they look good. They look like peak coats and stuff like out of men's ties. And she makes earrings out of like butterfly wings. Like she'll go to these gardens and
Mhm.
go around and look and find butterflies that's died and take their wings and like epoxy them and make earrings out of it. And they look really good. And I love seeing people's art, like their imagination.
Mhm.
It's a great thing to see, and it gives me inspiration for things too. Like I just entered a piece. There's this contest or this it's like a space school SEDS. I can't
Mhm.
remember exactly what it's a big deal. I get a big it's private, but the space stations like NASA stuff have something to do with it, too.
Okay.
But they had a big space arts competition, international space arts competition that I entered for or entered the pieces last week, and I can't wait to see everybody's art, like because this is gonna be everybody's best coming out.
I'm liking this
April
one. That's
4th.
really coming to life.
Yeah, I was worried about it. I was nervous, but like I said, I forgot about it and just doing it. Yeah, you got to make sure you scrape your paint off every now and then. Or you'll start.
Mhm.
And sometimes you want to give your hand a shake. And more you do it, you'll start seeing how good thing to learn with if you start even spray paint art is learn color value, how light works. That's a big thing. Like how light hits stuff, and it'll make your even learn take shading, all that. Even though you might just be doing spray paint art, it'll help you in everything. And it took me like when I first started doing it, like people like my mess ups, people don't see my mess ups because I know they're there. They don't see them. Like when
Mhm.
I'll say I won't. I don't even like to show a painting I feel like is messed up. But hold on, I gotta get the paint. Gotta wet it more because like the clear coat's got the solvent in it, so that's what breaks down starts re-wets the paint.
Mhm.
A palette knife, like the difference in a palette knife and this is like night and day. But I've used an old like prepaid credit card before that was broken. But yeah, you should give it a try, Mike. Sometime
That's
doing
I've never been incredibly artistically inclined, but I find this relaxing. So I mean, it would
we
probably
could
be
do a
worth it
video.
just for
We could do
that.
a video call, and I can show you how to do it. Like it's not like I just watch videos. That's how I learn, and then trial and error. Like if you like flex it, get different pressures on it, you'll get
Mhm.
different. Like I need to be using two hands actually. Get a steadier. Oh, why am I using that? I'm using the wrong knife again. That's what would happen. Like if this was if it's hot and everything else, this painting would be a 20-minute painting to do.
Mhm.
Well, not being new, but one I ain't never done. But if I've done one, I can do them like probably 10 minutes if it's one I've done a lot.
Okay.
And that's what I like doing live shows, going to craft events, stuff like that, and painting in front of people. That's a rush. Like that's a good feeling. Like just like sitting there painting in front of the crowd and stuff. I like it. I get nervous. Still get nervous. I'm gonna leave it there. And it's good to have everything organized. Like I'm bad about that. Not doing that. All right. We'll let that dry. And pause it for a minute.
Sure.
One is the extinction of the dinosaurs. There's my comment coming in. I did that off camera real fast so I could do it.
Okay.
But I'm about to spray the. I was going to do a lot more detail, but it takes too much. This is your basic silhouette type stencils. Like I prefer multi-layer. Sometimes it's just good to have silhouette, but you want to when you do it, you want to make sure you cover up for your overspray. You want to put something around it. Usually I use like nuts that go on a bolt, to screw on a bolt. Those are good weights to put around so it stays flat around there. Or you can use anything with a little weight to it. Spray cans, whatever. And you want to you don't want to be too close because it'll pull up on you.
Okay.
Just kind of mist it on there. And you put like a light color first. And then I usually come in with, like, I usually do my, like say the sky's orange, I'll do like orange or whatever, but it's going to be a silhouette drawing or type, so I'm just going to do black.
Okay.
You want to let it, you don't want to pull it right off, and you don't want to wait too long. So there's a, like, just to let it, timer it ought to be ready to pull off, but just let it dry just a second. And when that's drying, you get over here, like I'm doing another one over here. You want to pull, you got to be careful when you pull it up, because if you smudge it, you're going to pull this way, like pull like backwards.
Okay.
And this is just temporary stencil, so it don't matter if it, I didn't even do the ground. I'll do that. Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like when it dries, it'll you cover them up like we cutouts or whatever. And draw. I made these a different way. I've never made stencils before because I was pressed. I had to work all day, so I was pressed on time.
Okay.
So let me try these real fast. Hold a second. Bring it down. We'll do the ground, and that'll be it.
Okay.
I was gonna do a multi-layered stencils, like where there's details, their eyes, and everything. But as cold as it is, it'd probably take another hour. So
no, that's fine. That's fine. And what we can do is we can, when you're ready, we can stop. And if you just send me the picture when we're done, I'll make sure I put that up at the end of the show.
Yeah, well, I'll do that. So you're gonna do it? We can do it like that. So I mean,
okay.
All right. So is that it, or we? Or do
Yeah,
I finish?
we can end now if you're done for there. I just want to make sure that we got everything you want. Okay.
Actually, hold on. Let me do the ground. Oh yeah, I can see the finished product. Yeah, that'll work because there's only one more thing to do. So yeah, I'll finish it tomorrow and then send you the finished one or whatever.
That'll work.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I'll do a quick sign off here. CJ, thank you so much for joining me today. Now you're gonna take some of your art and put them in our Facebook group for sale, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I will. I didn't know I was gonna do that, but yeah, that's great.
So all of our fans here, if you're in our Facebook group, we're on Facebook, Veteran Nation. If you're interested, you can come on here. CJ, where else can they find your art?
Whenever I submit the first page, I'll put a link up to my page or to my Instagram, and my art's called Cosmos Edge Art is the name of my art business or whatever.
I'll make sure I push out all your links for you so that people
can find you. Any veteran or whatever, or I'll do a 20% discount on anything, any of my art.
Excellent.
Yep.
So I'll make sure I get that out there. And yeah, anyone, if you're interested in CJ's art, you want to purchase something, feel free to contact me. I'll get you in contact with them, or you can go through our Facebook group, or just look for the links that I'll push out. CJ, thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
It's no problem. Thank you. And
you'll come back on the show again later, won't you?
Yes, definitely. Yes, and well, whenever we get the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be putting links for or how we're going to do I'll be with you on how we're going to do this the workshop, or we'll figure it out. Yeah. So probably 2-3 weeks. I'll have all the kinks worked out, and then a lot of it's going to be learning as we go. So.
Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us, and for viewers, stick around. I'll add the finished product at the end of this.
Okay. All right. Thank you.